Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're out the range with my DP-12 12-gauge shotgun. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, when I first saw this thing, I thought it's a gimmick and there's no way in hell I'd ever add one to the collection. Then a friend of mine named Jacob insisted that I shoot his. He told me that it'll be the most fun I've ever had with a 12-gauge shotgun just to give it a try. Against my better judgment, I did, and he was right. I had a lot of fun. I couldn't believe how much fun the gun was. I couldn't believe how reliable his example was. So I picked one up, and I've been shooting it a little bit. I haven't shot it a whole bunch. I've only put maybe 60 or 100 rounds through it so far, but I found that even my example is 100% reliable. Now, the gun isn't without its quirks. First of all, it's very heavy, but it has some other quirks we'll get into later in the video, but it also has some unique features. First of all, you'll notice it has two barrels here on the top of the gun, and it has two magazine tubes. The magazine tubes hold 7 rounds each for a total of 14 rounds. You can put 2 in the pipes up here, and that's the way it's loaded now, for a total of 16 rounds. The other thing that's unique about the shotgun is that you have to pull the trigger twice before you can pump the action of the shotgun. So that takes a little bit of getting used to. If you're used to a Remington 870 like I am, or say a Model 500, you're going to be inclined to try to run the action after firing that first round, and you're going to struggle with the gun. So there is a bit of a learning curve, especially if you're used to more conventional pump action shotguns. But aside from that, once you get used to the weight and the rather unique ergonomics, the gun is an insane amount of fun to shoot. It holds a lot of ammunition and it can be fired very quickly. I have 16 rounds of a State 7.5-inch or 7.5 bird shot loaded into the gun right now. I'm going to shoot at that challenge steel target down there and just show you guys how this gun works. All right, so there it's empty. Now, one thing I have noticed about the shotgun is right now it has both hammers down, okay, and I cannot put the safety mechanism on, okay? Now, if I pump it, now both hammers are cocked, I can put the safety on and the gun won't fire when the trigger's pulled. If I put it on fire just one of the two barrels, and the right barrel fires first, now, once again, I can't put the safety on, but if this gun were loaded, I have a live round in the left-hand barrel. So that's one of the quirks you want to be very careful of, because the gun cannot be made safe unless you've fired both barrels and then ran the action to recock the gun. So right now both hammers are down, safety cannot be put on. I run the action, now I can put the safety on. That's one of the couple of quirks about the DP-12, but we'll talk more about the other quirks here in a few minutes. Let's load it up again and do a little bit more shooting with it. I'm just using some of this Estate 12-gauge shotgun shells, or 2 3/4 inch. It has a 1 1/8 ounce shot load, and it's 7.5 bird shot. So it's low brass, field grade stuff. The DP-12 is mostly metal. This whole housing here is metal. It has polymer for the stock and the pistol grip and for the forend. While this looks a bit goofy, you will need a vertical forend grip on the gun to run it properly. I mean, you could run it without it, but you're going to find it's going to be much easier to do with a vertical forend grip like that's on the shotgun. You may opt for something not quite so unique looking. I think I may actually swap this out with something a little bit shorter in the future, but overall, the way the gun ships, it works very well. All right, so to load the gun, if you look in the rear of the shotgun right here, you can see the 2 tubes. Now this is the bolt here, and you can see how the bolt's cut, so it's very easy to load. My KSG can be a little bit problematic, but I found that this shotgun loads very easily. All right, just lay the shell in there and push it down. Another thing that you can do is kind of tilt the gun back a little bit, throw 2 shells in there, and just stick them in there, and just push down, and they go in together. All right, it's nice, big, and open ejection port here, and very easy to load. If you want to take a shell out, there's a little lever right down here by my finger. I just push this little lever and it'll pop the shells out, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and put them all back in. But should you want to unload the shotgun, make it safe, that's how you would do it, without pumping them through the action. I always gotta drop 1 round every time I'm loading. It's like the rule of the range here. I am the biggest klutz alive. All right, says the guy with the loaded gun. All right, so we got 14 rounds into the shotgun. Now, one thing I've seen mentioned on the internet is that one prominent YouTuber has had a problem with the DP-12 not cycling with the muzzle pointed straight down. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jason there see the action of the gun. You can see the loaded rounds. I'm going to go ahead and give that a test here. Pump it, and mine seemed to work okay. So for the duration of this scene, I'm going to go ahead and pump the shotgun each time with the muzzle pointed straight down, see if we run into any malfunctions. And I think I got one more, and that's it. All right, so I'm not having problems with this particular gun. That's not to say that other folks haven't had problems, but this gun doesn't seem to cause any issues when pumping it that way. The other thing we'll do is just try it at different angles. All right, we'll try it not just straight down, but let's shoot it straight up and pump it. We are shooting bird shot, so it is safe to shoot this into the air. You don't have to worry about a bullet coming down hurting anybody. You'll go through a box of shells really quick with this thing. And it is kind of handy that you can load two at a time like that. All right, I don't know if I got a full load here, but it'll be pretty close. All right, so let's pump this thing straight up and down. I can see my wads. Let's try on the side. Side. All right. It's kind of nice. You can quickly see if you have more ammunition in the gun or not just by looking at the rear end of it. So I don't have any problems with this gun running it in various positions, including totally straight up and down. I don't know if that's something they fixed or, again, if it was just a quirk with that one particular shotgun. All right, let's grab some more shells. So as I mentioned earlier, the shotgun isn't without its quirks. First of all, the first thing you're going to have to learn, obviously, is to pull the trigger twice before running the action. And it's one of the several reasons why I wouldn't recommend this for a self-defense shotgun, because unless you're really, really well rehearsed with using this particular gun, you're probably going to find yourself in a panic situation, firing and trying to pump the gun and then thinking your gun's screwed up. So I'm not saying you can't use it for self-defense. Most certainly you can. I just don't think that it might be your best option unless you practice a lot. Shotgun shells aren't expensive, but most people I know that carry guns for personal protection don't really practice with them as much as they should, so you need to take those types of things into consideration. Second, the other quirk that's another reason why I wouldn't want to use it for self-defense is the safety. Okay, we've already talked a little bit about that. The safety, you can't put it on after you fired one of the barrels. You can't put it on when the gun has both hammers down, so you can't make it safe in any condition other than fully loaded and ready to go. Another quirk that I've discovered is this 1913 rail seems to be just a little bit smaller than a standard mil-spec rail. A couple of the mounts I have wouldn't fit onto it. They wouldn't lock on. They would stay loose, but other mounts work fine. So you just have to find the right mount to work with it. This is an AEM mount from American Defense Manufacturing, and this is a Hilux Optics B-Dot that's on this AEM mount, which uses a standard T1 micro mount. So if you're looking to put a red dot sight on here, you're going to want to be somewhat careful and selective as to what mount you use. I found that the ones with the screw tightening typically have enough adjustment in them to mount okay. Some of the quick detach mounts may not work right. You can put just standard AR height sights on the gun. That's all these are. These are BCM sights. They work just fine. It's not a quirk. Other than that, the gun's just a little bit heavy. I wouldn't say that it's awkward. It carries actually pretty nicely at the low ready like this. The gun is quite comfortable. It's easy to you know, carry around all afternoon. Fully loaded, the gun is, again, a little bit heavy. I'll have to throw it on a scale here in a little bit to find out exactly what it weighs fully loaded. It has kind of a downward angle on the stock, but it is very comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and fire a couple rounds here. It's very comfortable to use. You'll notice there's very little muzzle rise on this gun. Okay, these aren't the hottest loads. We'll grab some buckshot here in a minute. But watch the muzzle rise on this thing. And I don't have a death grip on the gun. I'm just kind of casually shooting it. Now you will know, watch the ejection pattern of the shotgun. When I have it in my shoulder, you'll notice that the shells come down and go right past the arm. They don't seem to have the same velocity as the KSG, so this gun doesn't cause me any physical pain like the KSG does, and I have a deflector on my KSG now. See how quick you can get those 2 rounds off? That's pretty nice. Wish we had some clays out here. Oh, see there, I wanted to pump it before it was ready to go. But I imagine this thing would be a lot of fun shooting clays with, because you can shoot 2 rounds really quick. So, pretty slick. The muzzle, let's go ahead and clear the weapon here. It is empty. All right, go ahead and put it on safe. You see the muzzle end, you have screw-in chokes. All right, so you can put, say, a modified choke over here and a full choke over here if you do want to use it for hunting. And I don't see why you wouldn't be able to use it for hunting. It has sling mount points here on the front. You have a hole here in the pin that you can attach a sling to if you wanted to. You'd probably want to sling it. It's a rather heavy shotgun. I think I've said that many times in the video already. The action's really smooth though. It's not bound up. I've not cleaned it yet. I haven't even really lubed it. I just took it out of the box and started shooting it. And it works just fine. All right, let's grab some buckshot and shoot it with that. Okay guys, these are some 9 pellet Remington buckshot loads. Got 12 of them in here. Now let's give this challenge steel target a workout here really quick. Yeah, it seems fairly close. All right, so you can see it has a little bit more rocket effect, a little bit more recoil, but really it's not that bad because I think of the weight of the shotgun. Definitely more stout than those birdshot loads. Yeah, got 2 more. Yeah, you could really do some damage with those 2 quick rounds. Here's one of the other quirks I want to show you guys. Now, if you have a misfire on one of the shells, or if you don't have the tubes loaded with an equal number of shells, you could have a dangerous situation occur. So right now I have 2 rounds in the right tube. It fires the right tube first, from the right tube first, and 3 rounds in the left tube, and there's 2 in the chamber. So I'm going to fire 3 times, and the gun will then on the 4th time not fire on the right tube, but it'll still have a round in the left tube. Watch this. Okay, now when I run the gun this time, oh, gun's empty, right? Whoa, what just happened there? So you gotta be really, really careful with the gun, guys. When you load the gun up, you may not get the equal number of rounds in each tube, and you may set yourself up for a situation where you have a hot gun, you don't know it, and you could have an accidental discharge. Also keep in mind, this goes in with the safety as well. If you don't have that second tube fired, you just fired the first one, you have a hot round in the second tube, you still can't put your safety on. Okay? Just be careful with the gun. Make sure it's clear before you put it away or, take it off the line. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed coming out to the range and taking a look at the DP-12 shotgun. Now, these things are not inexpensive. They retail for right around $1,400, but is it worth it? Well, worth is subjective. It depends on who you ask. Is it worth it to me? Yeah, because it's a really interesting shotgun. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I may actually try to take this thing out and go hunting with it. For that $1,400, you get the shotgun. You get, the ability to put in screw-in chokes in the barrel. It does have a recoil-reducing mechanism here in the buttstock. It seems to be mostly metal. All the major components are metal, just with polymer furniture. And the gun's a tank, and it works 100%. So I'm pretty happy with the thing. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Now, if you do buy one, keep in mind some of the safety issues that I've pointed out. You will want to become very familiar with the shotgun before you start using it a whole bunch. Make sure you take it out and get used to some of its idiosyncrasies, because the gun can be potentially dangerous if you're not 100% aware of how it behaves and how it's working. But if you guys have any questions about the DP-12, you can ask those questions down below in the comment section. I usually stick around for the first day or 2 after a video goes live to answer those questions. Also, if you'd like to support the Military Arms channel, the best way to do that is swing by Copper Custom and pick up a Mac patch. You usually see me wearing those on my hat. It really does help out. They're only $3.99, but again, it helps out here at the channel. And if you guys haven't already, please check out full30.com. That's full30.com. We've taken all the web's best firearms content creators, brought them under one roof, and that is full30.com. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll talk to you guys soon. That thing will wear you out.